Naked Shamanism. Welcome to With Insights Radio. I'm your host, Iggy Garcia. I will take you on a journey across the universe through shamanism, metaphysical, and holistic. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
Yeah, here we go. 1, 2, check. Alright. Check. 1, 2, check. Alright, welcome everybody to the show. I am Iggy Garcia Live, episode 142. Of course, the show is called Check. 1, 2, check. So, we're gonna light my sage bundle here. This is mixed sages. Lavender, sweetgrass. Just kind of set the tone for what we're going to talk about today a little bit. Okay, smells good. I'm going to light a candle like we always do, because it's the right thing to do. There we go. Turn down my there we go, that feels better. Alright, so I light this candle, giving thanks to our ancestors, giving thanks to those who come before us, those who trailblazed the path. I always get that wrong, I don't know why. But give thanks to my mom and dad, my mom's ancestors, my dad's ancestors, which are my ancestors. And to those people I've never met before, I wonder what their lives were like. I wonder what their dreams were and what they were deciding to do, what they wanted to accomplish and create in this world that they lived in. It's always curious to me how other people see the world and what they want to do. So it's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. Light that here. Let that burn as we go. Well, how is everybody? How's everybody doing? It's good to see you. You can leave comments here if you like. I believe, I'll see if everything's working. If you can hear me, say hello. I will say hi to everybody. Hi. Welcome to the show. So, let's just get on with it. Let's just get to the point. Let's get to the place of how some people respond and react. And some people how they check 1, 2, check. So for many of you who don't know this, being in service is a very powerful tool. It's a very powerful thing that we do. Those of you who are in service in the sense of a higher calling spiritually, which shaman, chiropractor, doctor, doesn't matter. Whatever you're in calling, it's a great responsibility. It's a very, very powerful one. And we're humans, and a lot of people fall short. A lot of people fall, and either by choice, or by stupidity, or because they just don't know how to control themselves. I cannot speak per individual people, but I want to say that sometimes you fall pretty hard, and you fall and you smack yourself in the head, and him or she, it doesn't matter. And sometimes you abuse the power that you have in the work that you do, and that's the thing you should not do, because it's easy to do. It's easy to get a big head. It's easy to think that you got the connection, you got the keys to the universe, and it feels that way, So I want to say hello to Connie and Sammy for checking in. So this show is pretty interesting because I'm going to talk about some things that probably be uncomfortable for people. And being uncomfortable is a good start for healing. And it's super important. So, how do I say this? I'm just going to say it out. So I have a friend who's a shaman in Peru. And people are like, oh, why do you call him friend? Okay, he's an acquaintance more than he is a friend. But regardless. And the reason I bring this up is because he violated the sanctity of being a shaman. He took advantage of his position and he crossed the line with several people. I don't know all the details. You can look into it. And the reason I tell you this is because it's very important to know that the people that you raise to a higher standard, the people you put on a pedestal, they're just people. They're people with a special connection. And you go, Iggy, so how can they stay connected and still be able to do that? Because the universe is not... The universe is very simple. We complicate it. We complicate things with the universe sometimes. And the universe is not that complicated. But we make things very difficult sometimes. And the reason I bring this story up to you is because I think it's important to share. I think it's very important because I don't know all the details, and I don't know where it's going, and I don't know how it's moving out. And he was accused of, excuse me, things you just don't do. Especially when someone comes to you for healing. Someone's coming to you because they need something, or they have to work on things. Now, granted, everybody comes from different areas and different levels. Some people really hurt, and some people seek people like healers to, grasp onto. It's like the moth to the fire, And sometimes they find the answers, and sometimes people get connected into these wrong, unorchestrated events. Now, my buddy here was pretty popular, pretty famous shamanic practitioner, Herbert Quinteros. And I'm not saying because I dislike him or anything. The reason I bring this up is because it's important to know. It could be Iggy Garcia, it could be anybody, it could be anyone. But I'm going to get to the point where I want to get. Now, there's a lot of people who do this kind of stuff. And do they do it because they're predators? They could be labeled that, yes, after the fact. Were they predators to begin with? Maybe not. Nobody truly knows. Nobody knows if that whole intention was to be that way. But the point is, it happened. And I'm not here to justify that what he did was correct or whatever, but the point is, I know this person. So I open up my Instagram, and I see someone posting, this guy's a predator. Not me, he's talking about Herbert. And the funny thing about it is, the lack of disrespect for me, and my family, and for my calling and the work that I do, they didn't have the courtesy to instant message me. And this is Instagram messages, pictures that I had from my trip when I went to Peru. They're deep in my Instagram. So these people had to look for every ounce of whatever they were looking for. Did they DM me and say, hey, Mr. Garcia, I see that you have pictures of Herbert. You may want to think because he's going through this situation. No, they didn't do that. They just assumed, since they were up there, that they had the free range to say whatever the fuck they wanted. Okay? Alright? Whatever Herbert did, that's on him. He screwed up. I didn't screw up. Now, when I knew him, I knew nothing of that. He, in that time in my life, helped me change my life, regardless of what he did in the future or done in the past. There was a universal connection between him and I, and we connected. This other person who posted these things because he's in the pictures, and being very explicit about it, didn't have the courtesy or the candor to even think to they were trying to association, damn by association, whatever you want to call it. They just assumed that it was okay to just say whatever the freak they want, because that's a society, that's the world we live in today. Everybody thinks they can just say whatever the hell they want, when they want, how they want, and think they're going to get away with it. No, I'm not here to condone what he did. Because what he did is not correct. I get that. But I also know that he's a human being. And people have the right to be rehabilitated. People have the right to find their way again. Will he? I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a while. Will he find his way? Doesn't matter. It's his life. It's his journey. He chose that path. Healers also have to heal. Is he a predator? According to these people, yes, he's a predator because that's what he did. Because they're qualified to qualify what predatorship means. Is Herbert, in my eyes, a predator? I don't have enough information to say that he's a predator because, number one, I'll just know it's fucked up wrong, what he did. Is he predatory behavior, hunting women? I don't have enough information to answer that. And I'll be honest, I'm being truthful here. I'm not going to just Mickey Mouse around and just jump on the bandwagon because everybody else does, you know. Oh, well, he did this, he did that. But I will say my buddy messed up. Screwed up. Stupid. Idiot. You know, he broke the first rule, do no harm. You know, that's on him. That's why he's paying the consequences. And that's why he's going through what he's going through. Hey, you throwing him under the bus? No, I'm not throwing him under the bus. I'm stating facts of what he did. Now, what pissed me off was the way they posted stuff on my page. Guilty by association, you know? Were they just trying to send a message to me? Oh, this guy's bad. Good or bad, that wasn't the point. The point was, you didn't have enough respect. You don't even know me to even post that and think it's okay. Because you're angry and upset because something happened. And I get it. But that's what happens too much in this world. Guilty by association. You know, somebody did something wrong. And everybody just bails. So how do we help the person who was hurt? How do we help the person who hurt people? Can we help those people? Can we help any one of them? Do any one of them want to be helped? I would assume yes. Will Herbert be in the capacity to do the work he's doing in the future? I don't know. I don't have that answer. Only he knows where his heart is. And he knows that he screwed up. He screwed up. He knows. How do I know? Because he told me he screwed up. Now, are there going to be legal actions? I don't know. Probably. He has to face the music. And the music is this. He's going to be exiled. He's going to be ignored. He's going to be accused. He's going to be reprimanded. He's going to be told that he's this and that. But you know what? In the same token, he knows better that he shouldn't have done that. You know? And I'm not trying to beat up on him too much because he's getting his medicine. He's getting his karma or cause and effect. You know, what you put out, you receive, right? If you put out enough shit, you're going to get enough shit back. It's just common sense. But this is where people who work in the metaphysical, in people who work in the holistic, and the, you know, this etheric realm that we create, our heads get like this sometimes, and I have to monitor myself. Sometimes I have to like chill pill, you know, and calm down, because sometimes I get like that too, where my mind's like, oh my god, I have this connection, but I have a connection, and I want to share it with the world, you know, but it's not to be shared. Everything's not to be shared with the world, because sometimes the things you shared, remember, part of my imagination is playing out as well as I'm receiving information. So I have to distinguish and discern what is truth, what is not, what is What is it? What is being embellished in there? Because it's so easy to do. And you can ask for higher self and guidance and stuff and your guides. Yeah, sure. You can ask for God to guide you, but still, in the end, you have the final say what you do. There's a lot of people who use the gift. They use their gift to take advantage of other people. This happens. Preachers do it. Ministers do it. You've seen it on TV. You witnessed it. We're not excluded. People who are in this, this realm of shamanism, Wicca, whatever you want to name it, chiropractor, massage, everybody has to be monitor their behavior. It's super important. You need to monitor your behavior. You need to know what healthy limits and boundaries are with people. Because if you don't, you're gonna cross the line that you should not cross. Now there are times where people come to a place where they agree and they do things, but then it's too sticky. It's like you shouldn't do that. Because people are people. People have emotions. When people get tired, when people get worn out, people have expectations. People have expectations of the other party. The other party has expectations of that person. So you have to be very careful when you do this work. Am I talking to just my healers? No. First, do no harm to yourself. Because if you don't harm you, then you shouldn't be harming other people. So this is why I wanted to bring this up. Because there's a lot of us out there, not pointing fingers, I already spoke about one, who use their known gift to, get what they want, and sometimes that's kind of messed up. Now, as healers, we don't have the right to put our hands on people without permission. We don't have the right to just assume that people want a hug. You should always ask somebody, especially you healers, when I'm a hugger, well, fine, you're a hugger. I'm not, so don't hug me. Believe it or not, I like to hug, but I'm not. And I'm the hugger guy, so I'm the guy with the free hugs, but I'm not one who's like, just, oh, yeah, I need a hug. I'm not that. I don't need that. If it's a mutual understanding, we're going to hug, fine. We're going to hug. We have to understand that contact for some people is very difficult. And you put people in a position sometimes when you want them to hug you, that they really don't want to hug you, but they hug you because they think, if I don't hug you, then maybe I'm being disrespectful. People have learned to ask me, is it okay to give you a hug, Iggy? And I say, yeah. I don't think I've ever said no. But it's creating healthy limits and boundaries. It's creating that. It's creating that protective and understanding and that feeling of understanding that, maybe you don't want to be hugged today. Maybe you don't smell good. Maybe you just don't want to be touched today. Maybe we assume too much. It's kind of like some of my beautiful friends who like to just give readings to people out of the blue. Oh, I have a reading for you. I gotta tell you something. Spirit told me to tell you. When Spirit comes to you and tells you to tell something, you still have to have courtesy and respect and ask the other person if they are open to hearing a message. And most people are going to say yes because it's coming from Spirit. But what spirit is it coming from? That's what you need to ask yourself. So what spirit is it coming from? The spirit of mischievousness or the spirit of holiness? Be specific, be clear about where that's coming from. When you want to talk to somebody about their deceased uncle, the one who molested them and raped them, is he there to say I'm sorry and apologize? But for most people who are living in incarnated body, are probably glad that they died. It's so easy to just think that it's okay to just, but it's my gift, I'm supposed to share it. Yeah, you're supposed to share it, but you also have to have respect for the person and know that maybe they don't want to share with you. There's no price on your gifts. That's something that's very understood in metaphysical and holistic community. You can't put a price on the gifts that you have, in the insight that you have. The only thing that you can do is ask people to compensate you for your time that you are sharing your gift, because you have the right to be compensated for sharing your gift. And then I'm going to go to the other side of it. There are a lot of you who reach out to healers, and you are either their client, and you pay them, and some of you become friends. But here's the thing. When you ask your friend who's a healer for a reading, compensate them. Give them something. I don't know, sage, tobacco, money, a meal. It takes a lot of energy to channel in that. You know, you don't think it doesn't, but it does. You don't just go to the store and just say, hey, I'm going to take this with me. I'm going to just walk out now, you know. Appreciate it. Now, I may be sounding a little petty here a little bit, but, you know, it's an ebb and flow. It's an ebb and flow. And sometimes people don't know this until they're actually told about this. You know? It's like with the pizza guy coming to your door. He drives his car, you know? He expects a tip, right? Why does he expect a tip? Because that's standard policy, that's standard procedure. If you don't give him a tip, you know, something you gotta ask yourself. Unless you give it or put it on the card. Some things are expected. I see a lot of people who just want readings constantly, and they don't give anything back. There has to be an energy exchange between people. If the healer says no, don't worry about it, then cool, you know. If you insist that you don't have to give him anything, or her, then you're okay. You have an understanding. You know, excuse me. I have people who send me messages, and they send me a little PayPal, you know, for just a short period of time. Excuse me. And you know, it's really appreciated, because this is what we do for our living. You know, we don't work in the restaurants. We don't work, you know, 9-to-5 job. We create our own lifestyle, our own business through it. Is it easy? Is it hard? I don't know. It depends on the person. But that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. That, you know, that healers are humans. Humans who are endowed with a special type of gift. But here's the rub. Get a little water here. The rub is this. You're all gifted. Every single one of you who are on here. Everybody watching this podcast right now. Every single one of you is gifted. Every single one. Now, do you believe it? That's a whole nother question. That's a whole nother avenue. That's a whole nother topic. That's just a whole nother, you know, whole nother arena. But I'll tell you right now, every single human being on this planet is intuitive. Every single human being out here, okay, has something that is unique to themselves. It's just the way you look, the way you stand, the way you move is unique to yourself. Your gifts are also that way. They're very unique and tailored to you. Very tailored to you. Now, does everybody use their gifts? Not necessarily. Excuse me. Not necessarily. Most people will. Most people won't. Some people will use their gifts to help others. And some people are afraid because they don't know what they got in their hands. You know, it's very powerful medicine. But that person who finds their gifts and they're excited and they want to share with the world, that person is a very powerful human being. Now, there's a lot of you out there who don't know how to channel the gifts you have, don't know what to do with the gifts you have, don't even know what you even would call it. The biggest thing, you just have to have faith and trust that what's coming through you, working through you, is of a higher source, higher loving energy. Now, there are people out there who conjure energies that are negative, energies that are dark, because that's real too. That exists. Where there's light, there's shadows. Okay, so to think that the other side doesn't exist is not, you're kidding yourself. The shadows are very powerful as well, and the shadows also can do good and bad, depending on the situation. I like to stay in the realm of positive stuff, good stuff, because that's what serves me. That's what helps me. The shadows are very difficult sometimes. Sometimes we have to hide in the darkness so we can't be seen or be hurt or be touched. So that's when the shadows also are positive. When we want to become like the fox, we put fox medicine on. That means we hide so we cannot be seen. Take fox medicine off, boom, there you are. You reappear. Those are the shadows. Now, sometimes healers don't have a name for what they do. And there's a lot of you like that. I know a lot of you who have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a touch of this, a splash of that. And that's pretty cool, because you know what? That's the new evolution of healers. That's the new unlabeled healer. The healer who is not particularly one way or another. We like to sometimes categorize and subcategorize healers and people and put them in these little boxes and say, oh, yeah, oh, the shaman Iggy. You know, that's the big thing. Everybody calls me the shaman Iggy. But my gifts are part shamanistic, but there's a lot more to me than just the shamanistic version of myself. You know, I was also raised, you know, believing in certain belief systems that carry into the work that I do. And I'm also a very curious person. I like to learn other modalities as well. And as you do this work, you start to get into the realms where you start to meet other people who do similar stuff. And like-minded people start to attract each other. So you can be a healer and be amongst healer and feel very comfortable. But as soon as you step out of your comfort zone, you go out into the world, you get challenged. Or something pops up that didn't pop up before. You know, for me, that happens from time to time. I step out of my current, you know, position, my current environment, and I go into another one. And sometimes I feel awkward and I feel weird because I'm outnumbered, number one, and there's certain things that other people expect of you when you're in that environment. But either way, you learn to move and navigate between these worlds. Is it always going to be easy? No. I've had more conflict with people in the metaphysical and holistic community than I've had in any other community. Because there was a time, not so much anymore, you don't see it so much anymore, but there was a time where everybody wanted to prove and defend their position. Everybody wanted to prove that, hey, my medicine's better than your medicine. No, you're wrong. That's not how it's done. That's not how it's explained. You know, sometimes when you have a screwdriver, and sometimes you're trying to take the screw out of a board or whatever, or tighten it or untighten it. And sometimes you torque it, and sometimes you strip the head. And then comes a time where you cannot use the screwdriver to get that out anymore. You have to be creative. You have to figure out a solution. You can't fix everything with a hammer, right? You can't fix everything with a screwdriver either. And then you're trying to take it out, and you keep stripping it and stripping it more until you get to the point where you're just kind of going in a circle. Well, the metaphysical community is the same way. You think that something has to be a certain way. But even the things that we think that that they don't evolve, they evolve. Like, for example, in Urban Shamanism, we have the chakras, right? Just like everybody. Chakras. We call them chakras. But the cool thing about it is, we've always had chakras. It's nothing. It's been around for a long time. Everybody thinks that it's, a Vedic stuff, Vedic chakras. No, the world is actually very small. But here's the cool thing about chakras. We have an outside chakra that floats out here. Ancestral chakra. You know? The ancestral chakra, is where a lot of information rides. And I find it funny when people get so landlocked in their beliefs, and they can't expand from that. Expansion is important. Because trust me, as big as the universe is, and it's always expanding, still expanding, there are chakras that go down deep into the ground. Not just your root chakra, your red chakra, just like the medicine wheels of different cultures. Ours is round, has squares, and makes a triangle. Actually makes a cross, but it's actually not really a cross. It's actually a bridge, if you follow the steps, how it works. But yet it has very similar connotations, kind of like the Native American or the Christian circles and crosses. The world is actually very teeny, when it comes to sharing these things. That's the thing. Infinite love and gratitude. The infinite love and the gratitude that we share. That's why I always say it's good to be here, because that's it. That's infinite love and gratitude. That's what that means. If for those of you who don't know what it's good to be here means, it's good for us to be here because it's infinite love and the gratitude, giving thanks to ourselves, giving thanks to the universe, giving thanks to everything that helped create the situation, the scenario, us, and bring us into this place. Now we're moving into expansion. We're expanding. Now the thing is, a lot of us will expand outside of our bodies. A lot of us will expand outside of our minds. And that's happening right now. People are checking out mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, all of that, all the above. People are checking out. A lot of people have passed away on this planet because of the virus. That's an expansion, my friends. Believe it or not. The cocoon of that body was ready to shift. Will everybody shift at the same time? No. Some more than others. But nobody sees it that way. Everybody thinks it's death. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, blah. Yeah, it is terrible when you lose a loved one. I'm not going to sit here and joke like it's not. But it's also a movement of expansion. It's a time when the indigenous people used to say it's good. It's a good day to die. Why would they say that? They would say that because they believed if they've done everything right in their life to create the world that they wanted to create and make it better place for their children, okay, that's expansion. That's growth. Some of you hear voices, some of you hear things. And I dream, I hear. Oh my God, I hear it all. But here's the powerful thing that I hear, are the voices of the future. I'd like to know how many of you hear the voices of the future talking to you in the present moment. I'm very curious about that because that's one of my visions that I had that I want to share with you tonight. The voices of those who are living in the present moment in the future. Time is an illusion. Time is many branches of separation. There are people in the future praying to people in the past to get the things done correctly now so they can have a better future. You got to trust me on this because I heard it and this was told to me. And you're probably going, Iggy, oh my God. They're the voices of the great, my, my grandkids. The people who were borrowing the land. Not these grandkids, their kids and their kids. We're borrowing the land from them. Everything we do today is on loan to us. Every time we drill a hole in the ground, that hole stays there and goes into the future. Anytime we strip mine and we bear down our whole region, we tore down trees, all that's still there in the future. And we borrowed it. And we didn't replace it. We didn't give it back. We didn't make the concessions to make it better. Some of you look at me going, what the hell is he talking about? Just like your ancestors before us, your mom, your dad, your grandma, they also used the land. They also took the things that they needed in order for them to live. But how much is how much? How much should we take? How much should we use? Can we use other forms of means? Sure. Here's the problem. It's not that man is stupid and dumb. It's that man is too smart. Man and woman. They're too smart. They want instant gratification of this present moment. And I get that. Enjoy what you have now. Because you may have that later, right? So they take, they hoard, they take, they hoard, they take and hoard. It's just, and they just keep doing it. Because it's about the energy they create, which they call money. Monetary money. The monetary system. The monetary system has so much power over this world. You know, the monetary system in this world is very powerful. You know, we're so entrenched and we're so addicted to it and we're so connected to it and we can't break away from it because it controls us, it owns us. We have to work, we have to exchange that energy for money. We put in so many hours, we get so many dollars. And we're paid according to what the company can pay you. If they want to pay you what you're worth. You know, right now, every single one of us works for an exchange of energy. Every single one of us. There's not one of us on here, on this thread, who doesn't work to have some kind of energy exchange. Even if you don't work, you have an energy exchange with unemployment, you know, with even a homeless person has an energy exchange of not receiving and not having abundance. Every single one of us has a connection to something that will take care of us or we take care of it. Now, I'm not saying you have to live around the world and be concerned, you know. Someone's saying, I just want you to be aware that we talk about how we want to be free. We talk about how we want to go out and live in these sustainable communities, but once we're there in these sustainable communities, we do exactly the same thing we did in the communities that we came from. Because these communities are designed, they have to work together regardless. Somebody has to be in charge, somebody has to control, somebody has to monetize and kind of figure out what's going to... You don't just escape. So how do you break down this system? How do you break down the system that's been created over and over and over and over and over and over again? How do you break it down? And don't tell me, oh, we just stop, no. We're consumer. It's consumerism. We're consumers. We consume because we have to be taken care of. We must have. If you want to eat, you want to put food in your fridge, you got to have money. You got to have coin. You got to have gold. You have to have an energy exchange. Either it's going to be a bartering system or it's going to be a money system. So the future right now is looking very awkward. And the future right now looks really much different than what it looks right now. You know, I can go on and on and on and on, but here's the messages that I've been receiving. It's going to get hotter on this planet. We're going to have much more powerful storms. We're going to have much more crazy things happen, you know, with more I hate to say it, just, you know, we're going to have so much crazy, more crazy stuff, things we're going to expect. Are the aliens coming? Does it really matter at this point right now if aliens are here? Truly, if the aliens wanted to conquer us and take us over, this would be like the prime time to do it. I don't think they're here to conquer. I think they've already conquered us. I already think they've already have manipulated us. They've already taken a hold of us. What better way to manipulate and conquer people is by creating systems where they have to use them. So if aliens are, remember, aliens are intergalactic beings. Are traveling from millions and billions and billions and zillions of miles away. They have it all. They have a system that's planned out. Their minds are so, they're like 10 million years ahead of us in thinking. They don't need to come here and zap us with ray guns and stuff. All they got to do is put Netflix on TV, put a Coca-Cola plant down there, you know, feed us sugar, salt, and fats. What else do you want? That's world domination right there. We're in the system, so you got to play the game, I guess. Some of us don't play the game. Sometimes we think we're playing. We think we're being. Oh yeah, I'm being disruptive. I'm gonna do this and do that. I'm just gonna be there. They already know you're gonna do that. That's part of the plan. That's written in the game book, man. But a majority of you will act this way. Another group of this will act this way. It's all forecasting. There are people get paid for this stuff. There are people get paid for forecasting what cultures do and how people move. I've met these people. They got like this almost looks like a family tree. You know, like you see when your family tree. What group's going to go this way? This group's going to go that way, and what they're going to do this way. It's really fascinating. And sometimes you have to sit there and laugh and go, "Wow, am I really looking at? Is this real?" Oh, you bet your dollar it's real. If you don't think that there are very wealthy people out there who haven't forecasted how they want to see the world go, you know, the people with the money usually are the ones who are able to manipulate everything. The only thing we can manipulate is that we have the masses. And when we get tired and we're burnt and we're finally fed up, will we take down the system? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But my point is this. Just enjoy where you're at. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the people that are around you. Enjoy the situations you're in. Enjoy the things that are important to you. You know, I talked about this earlier on my mini podcast. It's about knowing the destiny that you live, okay? The extremes are this. Here, we are born. Here, we die. Everything in here, okay, is expression, creation, manifestation. Everything in the middle is ours to do. Now, at any point, we can cease to exist very quickly. But the point is this. Here, we are born. We're brought into this space. And then here, we leave this space. Those are two destinies. Those are your two written in stone destinies that you cannot change. You can never change. How you experience the things in here will dictate how you experience the end and what the end will look like for you. And the thing that we all have, and the thing that we all use or take advantage of or sometimes disrespect is time. Even though it's an illusion, Time is a very powerful tool. Time is the thing that sometimes we take for granted. Once yesterday is gone, it's over. Unless you recorded that baby, you will never be able to dictate it back 100% the way it was. When I was teaching my first students, and I really wanted to know who was really serious about doing the work that I do, I asked them to journal one day, not all week, just one day. Tell me everything you did in the one day. And some people were like, "Oh, why do I have to do that for? I don't understand." And some people tried it, and it was so difficult for them. It was so hard. Because I say, "Oh, I woke up, sat up on my bed, and then, I would ask them. I said, okay, you woke up, you sit up in your bed. Okay, so did you look up at the ceiling? Did you look at the floor? Did you scratch your butt? Did you run your hands through your hair? Did you yawn? Did you sneeze? Did you stand up, twist side to side?" To write your journal of your day, a specific journal, is almost nearly impossible. Just like the show right now, we will always leave with the pieces and parts that touched us, the pieces and parts that were important to us, the pieces and parts that we connect with. And that's it. You only take what you need. Life is that way too. But why do we do that in the shamanic realm? Why do we do that in shaman teachings? Because first ceremony is the art of listening. And when you listen, when someone's telling you a story about their life, they're painting a picture of you to you in a safe place. Because it's very hard to expose yourself and become totally vulnerable to somebody you don't know. So instead of interrupting and trying to fix them, sometimes we have to listen. And so in shamanic practices, we listen. I mean, most of us do. I do. I try to echo back to them what I heard. And that's what you say. Let me echo back to you. Let me repeat back to you. And if it's not correct, then correct me. But we don't do that. Everybody's too busy trying to get their 2 cents in. My 2 cents is more important. But listening is a lost art. It's a lost art because our minds are so quick and fast now that we have to share it, because if we don't, we'll forget it. Oh, I gotta share it. And then, we totally discount the other person. Kids are notorious for that. Young people today are notorious for that. Jeez, I think I was notorious for that. Because our minds are moving constantly. So when you're in a session with somebody, they're telling you something. They're telling it to you in a metaphoric way. They're telling you in a storytelling way. Because they have to go back in the recesses of their minds and recreate the story how they experienced it. And then how they experienced it and how they recreated it are two different things. Everybody thinks that you remember everything because you have a photographic memory. No. You may have a photographic memory of that moment. But if I ask you 100 times to tell me the same story over and over, you're going to tell me, you're going to add a little piece. Every time you tell me the story again, you're going to add a little piece to it. You're going to inflect a little bit more on one piece of it. Because that's what we do, to try to understand, to try to create and see what that was. Because, number one, trauma is very painful. Trauma is huge pain that we have to work through. Trauma is a very difficult thing. And when that trauma gets going, that story, yes, Jennifer, you're right, talking sticks, yep, we use that too when we're in ceremony, at times when we have to. Well, they have talking feathers as well. But, and that's what we do. If anybody who's worked with me knows that I will generally meet you in public I'll meet you in public first. Starbucks, or usually a coffee shop, and I'll sit there and talk to you. I'll sit there and listen to you, and we were assessing at that time if we were the right fit for each other. I don't open my doors to the sense like, hey, come on in. I'll set up a time for you. No, because that's not how it works. That's not how I do it. I truly want to know if I'm the person who was able to even connect with you. Because if I'm not, then I might have to refer you to somebody else who will be able to help you. Because I might not be the guy. You may think I'm the guy that you need to work with. Because somebody else said, you should meet this guy. You should meet Iggy. He's a shaman guy. He does this stuff, man. He does all these cool things. So the thing is, I'm just trying to let you guys know that in this work, when I sit there and I'm in a public place with somebody, I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel safe. Because especially when you come into somebody who does things that you read about, you go on the internet and you start to read up about what shamans do. You start to read up about what Native American medicine women do. It can be kind of scary place because there's all kinds of crazy people. There's all kinds of crazy things you read about. There's all kinds of stuff that's going on. There's healing medicine, plant medicines going on. What's that all about? Oh my God, what is ayahuasca? What is San Pedro? What's peyote? Oh my God, there's drugs. Oh, these people. Yeah, I've heard it all. So when you're in public meeting, I'm meeting me personally. This is just how I do it. I meet people, and you'll know if you're fit for them. They'll know right away if they're fit for you. I have some very good friends that I've become friends with because of that process. Because it wasn't about me trying to sell them a service. It wasn't me going, oh, well, you need this, and you need that, or you need to get a, what is it, soul retrieval, because we need to retrieve your soul and bring it back. And no, that's not how it works. That's not, at least that's not how I was taught. How I was taught was just be yourself, listen to what they're telling you, and just be gentle. Then you have to decide if you're going to react or respond. It's the golden rule. But anyhow, we covered a lot of stuff today, and I know some of you guys I talked about something something you weren't expecting me to talk about, but I had to talk about that. Beginning at the top of the show, top of the hour, talking about how people just violate your space because they think it's okay to, because they see an association with you. Okay? That's a lesson that we should all learn. Just because we don't like something, we see something a certain way, doesn't necessarily give you the right to just freaking bust someone's ass for it, And did I delete it? Yeah, because you know what? And could I have reached out to them? Yeah, I'm sure I could have, but I'm sure that their intentions were not to be nice and talk and share. Maybe if they post something else, which I don't think so. Maybe in the future, if they reach out and say, hey, you know what? You kind of supersede and you're kind of overstepping your bounds. Because it happens to us, guys. It happens to people who do this work. Sometimes people violate our space. Because the same way that someone was violated, they violated me too. Because the first person who reads that doesn't know who they're talking about. They just see your face next to somebody. And, guilty by association. Oh, Iggy must be the same way because he knows him. He was friends with him. He's friends with him. Oh my God. Anybody who's like that, they're probably all the same. As I was saying, like, all Latinos are the same. Give me a break, man. Come on. Come on, man. It's like, really? But some people just aren't smart. Some people just don't get it. Some people just don't have social skills. Some people just hide behind the screen. Some people just hide behind these little comment boxes. We become so desensitized from people. We have no emotions, no feelings, no connection to people. like we used to. You know, I've seen, I posted things about people who are pedophiles and nobody responds, nobody cares. Everybody's like, whatever, Kids who've been trafficked, but no, it's okay. But you post something else, something completely stupid, everybody just jumps your ass about it. It's like ridiculous. Maybe they don't post anything because or respond because maybe they're victims. I don't know. Maybe they were hurt. Maybe. I don't know. We've got to protect our kids, protect our children, because you know what? If we don't, who will? It's the reality of life. There are some bad people out there, and they're not all healers. They're also just lay people, politicians, priests, nuns, clergy of all nationalities and all races. You know, preschoolers, people who teach. They're all out there. Why are these people this way? I don't know. But my point is this: have candor. If there's something you don't like, and you really have to voice your opinion, then voice it. Fine. But do you feel like maybe give someone a little heads up? Hey, you know what? Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he wasn't aware. Maybe, to be honest with you, I totally forgot those pictures were even down there. Because I have so many pictures. You know me, I post everything. So, but it's just how it is. That's the world. The world's eager to judge you. The world's eager to slap you. The world's eager to just kick you in when you're down. That's why you don't see a lot of positive stuff on the news. You do from time to time, but the majority of the time you don't see it. They look for the hard sell. They look for things that sell papers, the things that sell news, the things that sell advertisement. That's the world we live in. That's the reality. You are a commodity, you're a price. If you're on social media, somebody's trying to sell you something. Sometimes my Siri phone comes on when I ask a question, and I won't even touch it. I'll just say, "Hey Siri."
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I didn't even push a button. It's funny. Hey Siri. Oh, now you're being quiet. Hey Siri. But you see my point. Every minute somebody's trying to sell something. Every minute something. Why? Because you're valuable. Spiritually and monetarily. Anyways, I think I'm done for tonight. I think I've hit the topics that I wanted to cover. I hope that you enjoyed this time with me. I hope that you're able to discern and figure out the things I'm trying to say and try to understand the things I'm trying to articulate about my feelings and emotions about things. Because this is one life that we're in together. All of us here are connected in ways we don't understand, and we may never understand, but yet we're all here together. We're all here watching the show. We're all here, listening, typing, sharing, connected. One people, one tribe. But we're here. Everybody here has a voice, has something they wanted to share, something they wanted to say. People say, hi, hello, Iggy, hi. Starlene, how are you? People hurt people. Going outside of our boundaries is best determined by the energy within our own, and then there are more to me than quantum touch. My son explains it in details, crossing over, the past, the future, art, and the present. The talking stick is a greatness. See, we're here, we're sharing thoughts, we're sharing ideas, and that's what's important. That's what's very valuable. That's the things I'm talking about. That's the stuff that makes this world go round. Alright guys, I will see you when I get back from Virginia Beach. I'm picking up my daughter, bringing her home here as they're getting ready to do their next transfer to California for Jake, and he moves to California for the Navy. So I'll be gone for a few days. So I want to say, Ho'oponopono motakuyasin. It's good to be here, Irisikwi. Alright, what is above is below. Okay. So I will see you next time on The Mind of Iggy or Iggy Garcia Live. One of the two will be here. I'll be sharing one of these feeds. I hope you enjoy these feeds. I hope you enjoy my shows. I hope you enjoy the topics we do. We'll be drumming here soon when I get back. We'll figure something out. We'll get something going. And with that, I want to say good night. Love you guys. Peace and love. Take care of yourself. I will see you next time on Iggy Garcia Live on the WithinsightRadio.com, IggyGarcia.com. See you guys later. Be well. And watch me on YouTube as well. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'm on Instagram at Iggy Garcia Mandajuti. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye.